Good evening and welcome once again to Irish Television Chicago. You know, we're on the third month of Irish television and it seems like it just begun. We have a very interesting show for you tonight, but I'd first like to introduce you once again to my co-host for this evening for the show, Siobahn and Bhuachalla. Welcome, Siobahn.
Thanks, Tom. It's great to be back here again. And of course, I wasn't here when the whole project started 3 months ago in May, but I'm fitting quite comfortably into the chair now and I like it. I think I'll stay for a while. So Tom, what's happening on the show tonight?
Well, we have some great numbers coming up, and I know that there's a lot of Mayo men and women here in Chicago particularly, and this is a number for them especially with Pat Daly and Take Me Home to Mayo.
Across the Irish Sea, home to dear old Mayo, where once I roamed so free. Take me home to Mayo and let my body lie. Home to dear old Mayo, beneath an Irish sky. Oh, my name is Michael Gahan. From Ballina I came. I saw my people suffering. I swore to break their chains. I raised a flag in England, prepared to fight or die. Far away from Mayo, beneath an Irish sky. Take me home to Mayo, across the Irish Sea. Home to dear old Mayo, where once I roamed so free. Take me home to Mayo and let my body lie. Home to dear old Mayo, beneath an Irish sky. My body cold and hungry, in Parker's jail I lie. For loving of my country, on hunger strike I'll die. I have but one last longing, I hope you'll not deny. Bury me in Mayo, beneath an Irish sky. Take me home to Mayo, across the Irish Sea. Home to dear old Mayo, where once I roamed so free. Take me home to Mayo and let my body lie. Home to dear old Mayo, beneath an Irish sky. Take me home to Mayo, across the Irish Sea. Home to dear old Mayo, where once I roamed so free. Take me home to Mayo and let my body lie. Home at last in Mayo, beneath an Irish sky.
Pat Daly and his rambling band of musicians there. And you know, just as Tom was trying to say where the people from, the Mayo men, I was wondering, we have Dubliners, we have Corkonians. Does anyone know, is it Mayoans, Mayoites or something?
Oh, that's the Mayo men.
The Mayo men.
Yeah.
The Mayo men. It's sort of like the yeomanry or something. If there is a correct term, drop us a line and let us know. Now we have a father and daughter team for you. They're going to do a jig, and here they are.
Well, right now we'd like to tell you about some of the great entertainment we have coming up here at the Abbey Pub. During the month of July, the remaining part of July, we're going to have Listowel, which is a fine traditional group. And in August, we're going to have a couple of groups that most of you might have heard of. First of all, the Barleycorn, and then Patrick Street, which includes Kevin Burke, Andy Irvine, and of course the great accordion player Jackie Daly. And into October, a group that I'm sure most of you have heard about before, and that's the Fury Brothers and Davy Arthur. So a lot of great entertainment coming up here at the Abbey Pub. Right, Siobahn?
It's an absolutely impressive lineup, and you know, didn't we have fun at the Bards a few weeks ago? If they're anything like the Bards whatsoever, you're in for a wonderful time. Like I said, an impressive lineup. There's nothing more to be said about that. But I'm sure you're sick of hearing us talking about music. Here's some real music for you right now.
This is called Ghost in the Night.
Of the night, I'll lie awake, too tired for sleeping, burning fire in my mind. I can't stop thinking my clock's clock doesn't go tick-tock, but I can feel my heartbeat keeping time in the darkness. Shadows are falling in the darkness. Somebody's calling me. It's you, just like a ghost in the night, here by my side. Oh, I feel you breathing. Yeah, you haunting me all through the with pleasure and pain, over again, the ghost I believe in. Close my eyes and drift away. Visions of freedom, but there's no escape, nowhere to run. Locked inside me, memories from my past, deep inside. I see it. It's you, just like a ghost in the night, here by my side. Oh, I feel you breathing. Yeah, you haunting me all through the night, the pleasure and pain, over again, the ghost I believe in. Just like a ghost in the night. It's you, just like a ghost in the night, here by my side. Oh, I feel you breathing. Yeah, you haunting me all through the night, with pleasure
Irish American Heritage Center, located at 4626 North Knox Avenue in Chicago, was incorporated in 1976 for the purpose of establishing a permanent center to provide the facilities necessary to recognize and strengthen the proud heritage of Chicago's Irish community. Only through the generous help of area volunteers does the work at the center get accomplished. Through the donated time and efforts of the local tradesmen and craftsmen, the center is gradually transforming into a cornerstone for Chicago's Irish community. The center offers full banquet and theater facilities, plus classes such as traditional dancing and music. So enrich your life by becoming a member of the Irish American Heritage Center, located at 4626 North Knox Avenue. For more information, please call the center at 282-7035.
Good evening. Hurling has dominated the Gaelic sports scene over the past week. Offaly and Wexford traveled to Croke Park for the Leinster final on July 10th. The meeting between these two teams, both of them hurling greats, promised to be an exciting game. However, the first half was followed by a disappointing second period, with both teams resorting to slow, scrappy play. Offaly began the game with a seemingly endless burst of energy, and were leading by a goal and 5 points to Wexford's 2 points after only 13 minutes. The Offaly forwards penetrated the Wexford defense from the start, resulting in a goal from Joe Dooley just 5 minutes into the game. The Midlands team displayed all the skill that has brought them to every Leinster final of the 80s, until the 15th minute, when Wexford suddenly rallied and launched a brilliant attack to challenge the confidence of the Offaly defense. Seamus Fitzhenry was switched from left half forward to midfield, and he initiated some inspiring play on the Wexford side. In this period, they scored a goal and 6 points. The goal, a superb shot from Jimmy Houlihan, began when Fitzhenry made an impressive solo 30-yard run and passed to Tom Dempsey, who crossed the ball to Houlihan. A worried Offaly team executed some hurried lineup changes, moving scorer Dooley to midfield. Dooley regained control in some decisive midfield play, and the Offaly men scored their second goal in the closing stages of the first half. However, Offaly were far from finished. Reluctant to take anything for granted, after the mid-game Wexford blitz, Offaly players continued the pressure, and star player Dooley hit the ball past a helpless Jim Troy to score his second goal of the match and Offaly's third. The second half did not compare to the first. Wexford's determination failed against a stalwart Offaly defense. The last 45 minutes will be remembered for Wexford's missed chances and Offaly's reluctance to open a new attack. The final score, Offaly 3 goals, 12 points, Wexford 1 goal, 14 points, was a fair reflection of both teams' performance, but a bitterly disappointed Wexford side must be wondering what it'll take to win the Leinster Championship for their county again. Yesterday's Munster final saw champions Tipperary meet Cork at Limerick. This game, which was shown live throughout Ireland and transmitted live here in Chicago at Gaelic Park and the Irish American Heritage Center, was all that was expected of a Munster clash between these two counties. Outstanding players Dan O'Connor and Mick English provided a calm, steadying base for their defending Tipperary champions. The Tipperary hurlers were determined and persistent, and their determination paid off, helping them ward off attacks from an equally championship-hungry Cork team. An exciting second half saw both sides displaying fine hurling skills as they battled for victory. The Cork hurlers were eager for a Munster double, following the footballers' win over Kerry 2 weeks ago. But Tipperary maintained their supremacy to win the game, 2 goals, 19 points, to Cork's 1 goal and 13 points. Goal of the match was scored by Tipperary man Cormac Bonner, who followed through a superb puck from free taker Paul Delaney to slam the ball into the corner of the net. This goal was seen as the turning point of the match and led Tipperary to their 33rd Munster Hurling Championship. Getting away from Gaelic games, the latest Irish Olympic qualifier is John McQuaid, whose impressive performance in the FBD milk race last Saturday earned him a place with teammates Paul McCormick, Stephen Spratt, and Cormac McCain. The squad will travel to Seoul to cycle for Ireland in this year's Olympics. McQuaid will take place in the 100K time trial and the 196K road race. In athletics, crowds packed the Belfield track in Dublin during the week to watch Sebastian Coe running in the 800 meters. Coe said he was comfortable with his form and is looking forward to his last round of his Olympic build-up. If Coe wins a gold medal this year, it'll be his third consecutive Olympic gold medal. The Kildangan stud Irish Oaks was run at Curragh. Hot favorite Diminuendo, winner of the Epsom Derby, was ridden by champion American jockey Steve Cawthon. The race ended in a gripping final furlong run between the 9-2 favorite and Melodist, ridden by last year's winning jockey Walter Swinburne. Both horses are owned by Sheikh Mohammed and are trained and bred in Ireland. Examination of the photo finish revealed a surprise result for the punters as the judges declared a dead heat between the two horses. This is the first time in history that the Oaks has finished in a dead heat. Melodist ran at 11-1, and second placed horse Silver Lane finished at 16-1. All 9 horses ran. Sheikh Mohammed also owns the Kildangan stud, which sponsored the race. Well, this wraps up sports for this week. Next week we'll have more provincial final results. I'm Pat Looney.
Well, over the weekend, I hope that many of you enjoyed yourself out at Gaelic Park. Some great Gaelic games going on out there, football and hurling. Now I'd like to introduce you again to a fine group that is played here at the Abbey. That's Black Velvet, and the name of the tune is Follow Me Up to Carlow.
That all disgrace that backfits will start their place and drove you to the firm. Grace said victory was sure, soon the fireband he'd secure until he met that Lord Big McHugh upon. Horses were not Kildare, people who were people there. Outfits will have a care, all in this year's star law. Up with armors, up with swords, on we'll go for by the Lord. Hugh McNeil has given the word, follow me up to Carlow. See the sword of any man, they flash on all the English pales, see all the children of the Gael beneath the burden banners. Rooster all the fighting stock, would you let the Saxon cock go on and Irish rock the fight and teach your manners? Curses where Lord Kildare, people who were people there. Outfits will have a care, calling this year's Carlow. Up with armor, out with swords, on we'll go for by the Lord. Hugh McNeil has given the word, follow me up to Carlow. Saxon gone, waits his road, he go no more. That's any to lose to Hayden. White is sick, he's fled. Now for Black Fitzwilliam said it will send it over, turning red. Release a hand, our ladies. Horses where Lord Kildare, people do and people there. Now Fitzwilliam have a care, following this year's Carlow. Up with armor, out with swords, on we'll go for by the Lord. Hugh McNeil has given the word, follow me up to Carlow.
Well, if you just tuned in, you're watching Irish Television Chicago. We've got a lot of great music coming up for you yet tonight. Meanwhile, Siobahn has got another group to introduce us to. Siobahn?
Well, on the way we have Pat Woods, who I think everyone's looking forward to, and like Tom said, lots more good music. You can never have enough good Irish music. But right now it's our feature story, which I think is quite interesting this week.
Hi, this is Tom O'Donnell with Irish Television Chicago with our feature tonight, our guest, Father Jack Wall of Old St. Pat's, St. Patrick's Church in downtown Chicago. Nice to have you here, Father.
Thanks, Tom.
And Terry Toohey, who is the coordinator for this year's Black Party for Old St. Pat's. Welcome.
Thank you.
Father, maybe you could tell us a little bit about Old St. Pat's. I think it's the oldest Irish parish in the city, or you can clear me up on that.
Not only the oldest Irish, it's the oldest church and the oldest public building in the city of Chicago. In many ways, I think there's like three anchors for the Irish heritage here in Chicago. The Irish Heritage Center on the north side, we have Gaelic Park in the south suburbs, and St. Patrick's sits right in the middle of the city of Chicago at the crossroads of all the expressways. And it was founded in 1846, and the present church was completed in 1856. So it's got a long old history, and it was primarily the home of the Irish immigrants when they first arrived here in Chicago.
Now, you told me a little story earlier about the two saints in the church there.
Okay.
Maybe you could share that with us.
Well, there's a lot of saints in the church town. They really are. It's one of the delights of walking into St. Patrick's. It's around the turn of the century, the church was restored in an Irish Renaissance art and featuring a lot of Celtic art. I think a lot of people, when they think of Irish decoration, they think of the shamrock. But when you walk into St. Patrick's, you're just amazed at this beauty of this Celtic art inspired by the Book of Kells, and was done by an American artist by the name of Thomas O'Shaughnessy. And someone walked into the church once and said it was like walking inside of an Easter egg. It was so beautiful and brilliant in its colors. And so many people have never seen St. Patrick's. It's the oldest church, but yet many people have never been down there. But as part of the decoration, they have many of the saints of Ireland, and two particular saints. Right in the center of the church, they have St. Patrick, which you would expect. On one side of St. Patrick is St. Celestin, who was the Pope that sent Patrick to Ireland. And then on the other side of St. Patrick was St. Palladius. And I thought I knew my Irish saints, but I wasn't sure who Palladius was until I dug up a little history and discovered that Palladius was the first apostle to the Irish. He went to Ireland before Patrick. Some people say Patrick and Palladius are exactly the same person. But I kind of tell the story because not everybody that comes to St. Patrick's is Irish. I kind of tell the story that Patrick is the patron of the Irish, and Palladius went first to Ireland, but he didn't succeed, so they made him a saint for putting up with the Irish.
Oh, that's great. Now, where is Old St. Pat's, for those who don't know?
The church is located at 700 West Adams at Desplaines Street, and it's just one short block west of the Kennedy. And if you exit at Monroe Street on either way, coming north or south on the Kennedy, and go east one block to Desplaines and south one block to Adams, you're at one of the most beautiful shrines to Irish Catholicism and the Irish heritage there is. It's just a wonderful place, and we'd like to encourage people to come.
We certainly do encourage everyone to come down there. Now, they have a good reason to come down later this month for the Black Party. And we have this beautiful banner here that was from last year's. Maybe, Terry, you could tell us a little bit about the Black Party that's coming up.
I'd be happy to. It's called the world's largest block party, and it's truly the world's largest fun party that the city has to offer. The dates are July 22nd and 23rd. It's from 5 o'clock to midnight. We expect around 15,000 people. It's intergenerational, and when we use that term, we want young in age at 21 and over, and young at heart anywhere from 60 on. So intergenerational is the best way we can describe it. It's parents and their adult children come to this party. So it's and my dad still claims that I'm still going to him asking him for money, even at this. Dad, I need some. So we really encourage all families to go, make it a reunion of bringing the relatives from out of town. But it's 3 sections of the city, or the streets are blocked off with 3 different stages. Mm-hmm. We have a rock and roll stage, a jazz stage, and what we call our miscellaneous stage, and this is where we put all our real talent on. And that one is many of our Irish groups are playing on that stage. And just to give you some ideas of some of the Irish entertainers we've got the Sullivan Brothers. We have Irish Mist, which is a wonderful 2-man Irish group. We have the Shannon Rovers, and we have the Emerald Society Pipe Band performing on either one of the 2 days.
Now you're going to have other name some of the other entertainment.
Some of the we have the Booze Brothers. We have Laura Massey. We have Dick Judson. We also have Dick Holliday and the Bamboo Gang. They tell me these bands are wonderful.
They
and
sound like fun.
So it's a little bit of everything. You kind of walk from stage to stage to hear the different kinds of music, whatever that might interest you. We also have our neighborhood is starting to grow over at near Old St. Pat's, and this year we have about 10 of our local restaurants participating also. So we have it's kind of quite a mixture. We have some Greek, some Italian, some Irish, some German, and then we just have our own favorites like cheesecake and desserts, things like that we always want more of. And so we have quite a array of different foods also offered.
So this is your own Taste of Chicago.
Exactly, on the west side.
I have here a beautiful T-shirt that you are making here. I don't know if we can see that there, but it's just a wonderful shirt, and you're passing these out. You're going to have shirts and all kinds of things for people to come. I guess the big thing is this is a fundraiser for St. Pat's. And Father, maybe you could tell us, the church has some needs, and we're trying to, so it's all for a good cause.
Well, one of the best things about the party is it's really kind of a gathering of the clans and a come all ye. It's one of those great places in which we have a lot of entertainment, but the real entertainment is just meeting of the people, and it's amazing the connections that people make reaching back from old family friends and neighbors and things like that. So it really has all those purposes, and all of it comes together at St. Pat's, and our great hope is that we might really restore that church as a real shrine to the Irish in Chicago, but to all immigrant groups. This is the only church that it's the oldest church and one of the few churches that survived the Chicago fire, and it really has a great importance in our history and the history of the immigrants that arrived here from the potato famine on. And our hope is not to remodel the church, but to restore the church and really make it a shrine to our history. So much of Chicago, they tear things down. And our hope is that this one place, and especially as a real shrine to the Irish in Chicago, that this might really be restored. So part of the funds go to our ongoing restoration of the church. We're in the process now of restoring some of the stained glass windows. And a lot of the money also goes to our ongoing operations. We want more than a landmark. We want a living landmark, and we want St. Patrick's to be a vital center of the Irish in Chicago and the Catholic community in Chicago as we try to create a new church in the downtown area.
Beautiful. Terry, maybe you could just briefly, you have two young boys with you here. Why don't you just tell us a bit on that?
Well, I have two young gentlemen named Danny Dunlap and Gerald Dunlap from Belfast, Ireland. And one of the things that we find at St. Pat's, to pull off this event, we need quite a few volunteers, close to 1,000. And I'm being a little shy of my 1,000 volunteers. I've imported two boys over from the old country. But they're here for the summer. I sponsor them. And it's kind of a different lifestyle that they lead when they come over to St. Pat's. Most kids go to the suburbs and go to Great America, and these kids want to get off the plane and go to Old St. Patrick's and play in the church. But it's a wonderful program, and they come over and they just stay with myself and my family, and they kind of just work at the church or do all the things that kind of we do. We don't do the normal kind of things that you expect kids to do. But they'll be running around selling raffle tickets, and encourage anyone to come and meet them. They're just great little kids.
Great. Well, listen, what's the date again on the...
It's July 22nd and 23rd, Friday and Saturday. It starts at 5 o'clock, goes to midnight. It costs $15 to get in advance, or $20 at the door. We encourage everyone to buy their tickets in advance, which you can get at Old St. Patrick's or at a Ticketmaster or half a dozen other bars, the Abbey pub right here.
Right, okay, great.
We have two raffles also, Tom. We have one raffle is our pot of gold, and it's a $100 ticket with a $25,000 prize, and your odds are 10 to 1 that you'll at least double your money. And then we have another raffle of just wonderful prizes, from 1 year free rent on an apartment at Presidential Towers to a new automobile that Jack Gleason donated to us. All the prizes have been donated. There are hundreds of prizes, and those tickets are $2 a piece.
Oh, beautiful.
So if you can't come to the party, you can support us that way as well.
Well, Jerry Gleason's one of our sponsors on our show here. So, one last thing, Father. There's another event this summer where with the Young Irish Fellowship and the Irish Fellowship.
Right. We're sponsoring a trip to Ireland as our contribution to Irish tourism. And it's by St. Patrick's Church and the Irish Fellowship Club and the Young Irish Fellowship Club are all the sponsors of the trip, and it leaves
August 25th.
August 25th and returns on Labor Day.
And if someone wanted to get involved with that?
They can call St. Patrick's 782-6171.
Okay, great. Well, really great having you here. I'd like to have you back on again, talk
Great.
some more about Old St. Pat's, and we certainly plan on seeing you down there.
Thanks very
All
much,
right.
Tom.
Nice having you. Take care.
Thank you, Tom.
Take care. This is Tom O'Donnell with Irish Television Chicago. Back to you.
Thank you, Dan. And our next song will be a song written by a man called Tommy Macomb. Lovely Irish ballad called Red as the Rose. Come over the hills, my bonny Irish lass. Come over the hills to your darling, and you choose the rose, love, and I'll make the vow. Then I'll be your true love forever. Red is the rose by yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily of the valley. Clear is the waters that flow from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than
Irish American Heritage Center, located at 4626 North Knox Avenue in Chicago. Renew your link with your family's heritage. Join the Irish American Heritage Center. For more information, call 282-7035. That's 282-7035.
Good evening. I'm Bridge Looney, and I'd like to share with you the upcoming events at the Irish American Heritage Centre. Remember, the Irish American Heritage Centre is here to serve the community. Why not plan your next party at the Irish American Heritage Centre? There are several party rooms available and the prices are reasonable. For more information, call the centre daily between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. The phone number is 282-7035.
You know, just listening to Tom talking about the perks of a members lounge at the Heritage Centre, it struck me, what happens if you're not a member of the Heritage Centre?
Well, Siobahn, to take advantage of all these great amenities I've been telling our viewers about, I would suggest that all of you out there inquire about becoming members of the Irish American Heritage Centre. Then you can take advantage of all these great amenities, whether it's the auditorium or the various places, you know, family parties and all kinds of things that can be put on at the Irish American Heritage Centre.
Right, and it's not expensive. When you think that you're investing in heritage, what more can you say? So there's a good way to end the show tonight. As soon as we close off, rush out and join the Irish American Heritage Centre, become a member. Until next Monday, it's good night from Siobahn Bhuachalla and my co-host
Tom Looney saying good night and so long.